Monday, and we are on location at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. Huge game for your Edmonton Elks. They are visiting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 6 o'clock. Almost a must-win for the green and gold. MBT will be at quarterback. We will explore some of the storylines there for the next couple of hours. Yes, just a 2-hour edition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And then at 5 o'clock, Jay will stick around with Matthew Iwanek for the green and gold kickoff show. Well, actually, I'm going to stick around as well. I just won't be on air because we do have our EST watch party tonight here at Century Casino. So we will be meeting some nasties returning and hopefully some new ones as we watch the Elks play this big game against the Bombers. We'll have the latest from the Oilers skate today. They have a preseason game coming up tomorrow night at Rogers Place. I guess you guys can keep an eye on the Bears score.
Oh, I'll be watching that. It'll be on my laptop.
Oh, yeah, you can double watch.
Yeah, baby.
He's double dipping today. We will have there's a casino about 30 feet from us. Well,
no, we're in a casino.
We're basically in a casino.
But because we could bet on
we could bet on horse racing right now.
Yeah, I think we should.
Can someone come around and take our bets?
No, we have to go to the machine right there. But I can, if you find something or see something you like, I'm not even going to ask you. I'm going to go in with you.
Very rainy at Churchill Downs. Is that part of that big storm in the southeastern states?
I don't know.
By that.
That's the home of the Kentucky Derby.
You've been there.
Yes, I have.
We will have a very fun off-topic topic about gambling in casinos. Of course, we'll have my top 3 for Fuge Sausage. And I will do limericks again, and we'll see how that goes. But, of course, the lead story today, the big thing going on here in Old E-Town is the Double E trying to get a W against the W Bombers. So they couldn't do it last week, though they were right there. Despite all the turnovers and errors, they were right there until early in the fourth quarter when that Ford interception sunk them. So it will be MBT, which has been the big discussion. I mean, now that we're on game day, I just turned to game day. They've made the decision. What does MBT have to do? I mean, obviously, I'll ask you this way. What constitutes a good game for MBT? I know the short answer is winning, but what are a couple of things he really has to accomplish for the Elks to win tonight?
Number 1, take care of the ball. Limit turnovers as best he can. He's not obviously carrying the ball, running the ball. Limit the turnovers would be a major, major key here. The defense played pretty darn well last week. The running game, as we all know, has been explosive since in the last 7 games.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, since Jones left.
Yeah.
It's been better.
Wah, 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 wah. But, yeah, take care of the ball. That's, little spoiler alert for you, but that coming up on my the green and gold kickoff show, that will be my keys to the game. If the green and gold took care of the ball last week against Winnipeg, they win that game. They did not. Too many turnovers, and it ultimately cost them. And I'm not going to put this on.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always the Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated. Thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Okay, yeah, live at Citric Casino, teeing up the Elks and the Bombers, Jay. So you were saying a lot of this for you, for MBT to be successful, comes down to
Protect.
keep the ball.
Take care of the ball.
A punt's better. You might have to live with a punt or a field goal try. You don't want a fumble or an interception.
That's okay. I mean, this was a defensive battle last week. I expect the same thing. Because let's face it, Zach Collaros is not a world beater. It's almost like a couple okay quarterbacks facing off against each other. Guys that can get the job done. Yes, they're capable of big games as well. But I think the ultimate game plan today is to take care of the ball on offense, try and disrupt their offense, especially their running game with Brady Oliveira, and create turnovers.
Well, we'll see what MBT can do. I have found with MBT this season, he does miss throws, and we even saw that coming in relief against Winnipeg in the last game. There were 2 or 3 throws nowhere near who he was throwing to. I mean, you kind of knew he was throwing to, but the ball wasn't there. That's probably a physical error, whether he's not releasing the ball, whatever. But the thing with MBT, he knows where the ball is supposed to go. And that was the concern with Ford last weekend. I think used the concern discombobulated. He didn't look comfortable. And that's the thing. I mean, Collaros didn't have a great game.
Nope.
And we've seen Collaros. I know this year his stats are not great at all. But even throughout his career, we've seen that from Collaros. He has off nights, but he's that figure. He never looks kind of lost. Like he can scramble and he'll still get the ball off and he'll chip away. And with a quarterback like Collaros, if he's having a tough night, you feel like, well, there could still be a big play or an epic drive. We didn't feel that with Ford on Saturday. We were hoping, but at least I didn't kind of feel like it was coming and he's going to figure it out. With MBT, you hope, okay, if he's struggling or, the Winnipeg defense is playing well, which they're capable of doing, that he's going to somehow figure it out and get the ball where it needs to go and look like he did hopefully on Labor Day at times. I know there's more to it than just the 2 quarterbacks, but if you have above average or excellent quarterback play, you usually win.
From Edmonton's perspective, it's kind of a big deal. Right. It's kind of been a talking point. It's been discussed all week, the switch from Trey Ford to McLeod Bethel Thompson. And yeah, with the season essentially, if they lose this game and Winnipeg wins, they're not really in control of their own destiny. This is the start of, okay, if you want to control your own destiny and you want to capture wins and try and do it your way, get on a roll. I mean, they've done that this season. They've done a roll of 0-7 too.
Right.
But they're capable of getting on a roll the other way. So yeah, this is a big game for McLeod Bethel Thompson. Now, I mean, I don't want to drag this through the mud too much, but this was discussed about on the Hangout today. Was this the right decision? And ultimately, it comes down to the decision of, well, what is this team trying to do? And you alluded to this earlier in the week when I believe Monday or Tuesday, and said, well, if the team's trying to win right now, go with MBT. If the team's looking to the future and what they got in a quarterback like Trey Ford, start Trey Ford, give him the ball again. This is simply a decision, and I don't blame Jarius Jackson and G. Roy Simon for trying to protect their own backs. You and I would do the same thing if our backs were against the wall, our livelihood was on the line. We'd make the decision that we think is best suited for the team. So that's what they've done. I just feel like this could go a couple ways. I mean, if MBT throws 2 touchdowns, has 1 interception, but they rush the ball for 200 yards or 180 yards, that's a win.
Yeah. Well, and having a good running game, I think this is important to point out. Having a good running game is not exclusive to having Ford as the quarterback anymore. They've handed off the ball with MBT. They've run the ball well with MBT. I know Ford adds an extra, threat, though we didn't see it. I mean,
we didn't see it last week. He rushed twice for 9 yards.
One he fumbled on.
Yeah, and one was a fumble.
So, yeah, it wasn't as if Ford's legs had Winnipeg nervous last game. So, of course, MBT's play, like you said, Jay, not turning it, and other guys. I mean, Brown fumbled last game as well, and
Rankin had one go dink.
To me, it was 5 turnovers because the 6th turnover when you're down late in the game didn't really affect the flow of the game. But 5 turnovers when the game was still within reach. I hope to see, and you touched on it yesterday, the Elks are going with a large rotation of players on the defensive line, 8/9, depending on how they line up the one guy who's usually an offensive lineman.
Well, no, he's usually a fullback.
Usually a fullback. Yeah. The Elks, I was just double checking the stats here. They are 7th in the CFL in sacks. They have 25. Oddly enough, Winnipeg is last at 21. And of course, I spend a lot of time praising Collaros because I do think he's great. But any quarterback their performance and comfort level drops a little bit under pressure. Maybe it's just a little bit, but it drops. We did see Collaros throw that one pick last week where he clearly didn't read the coverage because Bratton just stepped in front of the receiver and saw it. So, if Collaros is comfortable, I really think this is going to be a long night for the Elks. I mean, they have to at least move him around and make him throw on the run and hit him a little bit. And you'd like to see, hopefully, a couple of sacks along the way. But this isn't a defensive line that has gotten a lot of sacks this season. But can they come up with a little bit of pressure? But I've been hoping for that for the defense all year. And I mean, we're almost at the end of the year and they're still third best in sacks.
Oddly enough, this team has the ability to be a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. They have throughout the season. It just depends what team shows up. It depends on the passion in that locker room, the desire to get the job done, the desire to be able to say that you control your own destiny. This is a put up or shut up kind of game. And it's exciting if you're a fan. Absolutely exciting. You want to see what this team's made of. I mean, when they were on that streak where they came out of it and Macbeth was a quarterback, went 3-1 over 4 games, that was a team that, a lot of media was saying was this, the second best team in the CFL in that span. They're capable of big things. So it's just a matter of putting it together and making it happen. And this is a critical game. Can they get it done under a pressure situation?
Game sold out, right? You sent me
Sellout
this morning.
Yes, it is.
Sell it in Winnipeg.
And they lead the CFL. They're averaging over 30,000 fans per game.
Well, that's what
fantastic.
Winning does. That's what winning year. I mean, didn't they have a stretch of 3 years where they only lost 3 home games or something like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been pretty dominant.
I know the one year was, I think they only played 7 instead of 9, but still, and then they clinch with a win, right? I believe they clinch a playoff spot. Not first.
They don't clinch first, but I think there is some mathematics there.
A playoff spot with a win because Winnipeg at 8-6, and if they would got the 9-6, and Edmonton would be down to 5-10. But so that would. Yeah.
But let's not forget, too, Reid, that the goal of this back-to-back series with Winnipeg was to split. If a split happens on the road, it's the same value points-wise. So hope is still there. Hope is still there for this team to turn around and still make a decent push towards playoffs. It is.
Well, because if the Elks won tonight and then Saskatchewan still won tomorrow, you'd still be 3 points back at Saskatchewan. So then you have another big game.
Then it comes down to that
weekend, and then you're still going to need some help from somebody else at some point. Edmonton still plays in Calgary. You hope that's not the game where Calgary rises up and does something, and then that final game of the year against Toronto, who, you kind of don't know what to expect from them at this point. So, but again, this weekend, the two priorities are an Edmonton win in Winnipeg and an Ottawa win in Saskatchewan. That would be satisfactory. A Hamilton win in BC would be a nice little bonus. And then Montreal at winning in Toronto would just be, okay, even better. But I still think a crossover, because with the crossover, you have to have a better record.
Yes, you cannot tie.
Team. So wouldn't that be dramatic if Edmonton and Toronto were both
heading into the last week,
8 and 9,
winner gets in
each other in the final week of the season? Because then
could happen.
Yeah, if the Elks go into the final game of the season against Toronto, a game behind Toronto, they couldn't get the crossover.
Yeah,
because the tiebreaker is you stay within your own division. All right. We are mobile today for the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. Was my head going out of the frame for the people on YouTube? You can,
it's tight. It's tight.
You can watch us on YouTube. You can stream us, edmontonsportstalk.com, the iHeartRadio app, or the TuneIn app. We, as Jay was saying, there's multiple horse racing tracks you can bet on here in Century Casino.
I'm just waiting for the gray.
We'll have to
I want to find a gray, and then we're gonna go in on it, Reid.
I will be doing my own bets.
We're a team. It's the Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne. We have to do things together.
It doesn't say wagering with Jay Milne.
I think if you look close enough, it does.
Okay.
At least I told Maddie to put it in.
You better be right if you're asking for money from me to bet.
I'll just cover your first bet. And if we win, we win. We go, we do it
split
together.
The winnings. Okay, I'll do that for mine too.
Okay. But one thing too is if you are listening and you are watching, hammer that thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. If your parents haven't subscribed, subscribe theirs and your children's too. It helps.
Yes, the Blue Bombers are favored in this game. No doubt about it. I don't know what the point spread is. I don't even have to look.
4.5.
Clearly, they'd be favored.
Minus 4.5.
Yeah, they just beat them by 13.
Yeah,
so they would be favored. So, yeah, and obviously all the table games and the what do you call them? The slots and the digital games are all going on as well. So we're going to get into our off-topic topic here. Well, I'll do the whole thing later here, but we each have a casino story, which we did not tell each other. So. This is my story is a positive one. It's the most I've ever won gambling. Okay. So this would have been, I believe, in 2006. My buddy Mark and I, we went to Nate together, and then we worked in Lloydminster together. But by 2006, I think he might have even been at Ched then, but he's been in Calgary for a long time, and I was in Lloyd. So in 2004, we went to Seattle and went to a Seahawks game together. And actually, that was an awesome weekend. We did a Medicine Hat Seattle WHL game, an NBA game, and an NFL game. All in one weekend. It was pretty
great.
Cool. So we went out for dinner one night to this steakhouse that we'd found because it was A-Rod's favorite place or something like that. And then, but my buddy Mark especially doesn't mind gambling a little bit. And he said, well, I wonder if there's like any casino. Like it's different
something
in the
to
States.
do. Yeah.
Unless you're in Vegas.
I think you can even smoke ciggies in the States still.
In casinos?
Yeah.
I was saying like the availability of casinos is a little different. So we asked our server and she said, let me check. And so she brought the wine captain over. He was the guy who just went around and opened bottles of wine.
I believe the term is sommelier.
I know, but they called him a wine captain. They brought the wine captain and he gave us this real show like, hey, so you boys are Canadian? Okay, well, there's a casino north of downtown, but I assume since you're Canadian, you want a real casino. We were like, okay.
What does that even mean?
So there was a casino across Puget Sound, and then you had to take the ferry across Puget Sound, and then about a half-hour shuttle, and then you got dropped off at the casino. And it was on, an indigenous reserve, or whatever they're called in the States. So we went there in 2004, whatever. Probably lost $50 to $100 each. I mean, we're not high rollers. So in 2006, we're like, we had to go back. And it's on this place called Bainbridge Island, which is a really nice island. And there's a little town there where you get off of the boat. So we go back in 2006, and we started playing this table game that I had never seen before and have never seen since. Probably because everybody was winning. Not a lot, But it was like blackjack meets Texas Hold'em. So you got, I think, 4 cards, and then they put down like a flop, and then the dealer got a couple of cards, and you had to make your best hand out of the 5 cards.
5-card poker.
But jacks were wild.
Okay.
So you could, or something was wild, and you could, or maybe there were maybe jokers in the deck that were wild. So you could get there were odds for 5 of a kind. So you could bet your square, like in blackjack, where you're just trying to win even money. But then there was the little bonus circle where, a pair was this. And so with all those cards to choose from and jacks being wild, it actually wasn't that hard to get 3 of a kind.
Right.
And then that was 2 or 3 to 1. So we're both.
If you bet it, and if you bet the
bonus bet, you had to put the minimum bet for the standard bet was $5. The bonus bet was 1. And usually I find that bonus bet is just a way for them to milk more money out of you. But this, I'm like, it's not actually bad odds to put something in there. So I started off putting $1, and then I'm like, I'm just going to start putting 5 in both circles. And then at one point, my buddy, he hit a 4 of a kind or something and won $200. So say, oh, great, we're up. Like combined, we'll at least be up for the evening, So I had a good little run, and I was probably ahead a little bit. So I had a bunch of $1 chips because sometimes you win 22 or whatever, right?
Sure.
So I put my $5 bonus bet in.
You're supposed to tip the $1 chips.
Well, I did that too. Not every time. I did it at the end. I don't do them when I get them. I don't tip as I'm going.
Why not?
Because you got to accumulate and wager.
I don't know. I believe in tipping as you go.
I don't.
Okay.
So I put in, just for fun, an extra $1 in the bonus square.
Sure.
So I had $6 instead of 5. And I proceeded to win $1,200.
What?
I think
What did you hit?
I got 5 of a kind. I think I got the second highest hand because Royal
flush would be the highest hand.
I think I got a flush. I don't think. No, I did get a.
You probably had 4 of a kind.
No,
4 of a kind's the second highest hand in poker.
I thought I might have got a flush of some kind. Maybe
flush.
It wasn't a royal flush, but
a flush is huge.
Anyway, and because I put in that extra $1 chip, I got an extra $200.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So my buddy and I, we're not making a lot of money. I mean, not that I wouldn't take $1,200 now, but still, it's like, oh my God, like this pays for the trip and more. And more. So,
and it's American.
So we're just like, this is like I was shaking.
Sure.
I was shaking.
Yeah.
All my chips, and then my buddy's like he was already ahead a couple $100. He's like, man, no, you won all this money. And then we're like whispering, okay, just a couple more hands, and I think I'm going to tip the dealer $5.
Oh wow, big spender.
So that is my favorite gambling story, and I know that you're going to get to yours, but we want people also to submit your favorite gambling / casino story. It doesn't have to be a happy one like mine. It is our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install, all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So that's my favorite casino story.
I already see a nasty over there sitting down having a 6 o'clock lager. Getting ready to go. They are on special as of 3. So if you want to come down early, get yourself situated, come on down. Dave C780 says, I hate to tell you this, but a straight flush beats 4 of a kind. I said that. Straight flush is the best hand in poker. 4 of a kind is the second best hand in poker. Sorry if I misunderstood or misspoke.
I can't remember what it was. Something very.
Brelando says Omaha poker. So it's like,
I don't know if that's what it was called.
Yeah,
I'm sorry the details are somewhat shady, but it was this weird. And again, it wasn't. I felt like most people at the table were at least breaking even. And I didn't feel it was just a lucky night at the table. I felt like, no, this game actually, the odds for the player are pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So when we were in university playing with the Bears, we all decided, not all, there's probably a group of 15 of us that decided that we're going to fly down to Vegas for a weekend. And I mean, none of us had money. We're just scraping up.
Right.
But you could find the cheap trips, right? And so we found a cheap flight and we said, screw it, we're all going to go. It was a large group. So we stayed at the Flamingo. we flew down there, and we all dressed up as 70s characters. So everybody had bell bottoms and pink hats, and vests were a poppin'. It was a pretty epic trip. We get down there, we get to the we're all feeling good when we arrive in Vegas, and we go to the casino, we get checked in, and we're going up to a room, and they walk you through the casino floor to get to your room, right?
Okay.
So a buddy of mine, heck of a long snapper, his favorite number was 21. So much so that he had it tattooed on his arm.
That's also blackjack,
Thanks, Halsey. So he said, boys, everybody, I got a feeling. We're going to hit the 21. We're going to hit it. So he's like, everybody get. So I think it was either 10 or $20, whatever you could put in. Each guy did. And we all got chips together and put it all on 21. Sure as you know what. Ting, ting, ting. 21 red.
Oh, so you put it on roulette. 21.
Roulette. 21 red. And I mean, it was massive. It was like 3,600 or
well, it's 35.
I think it was like close to $4,000
because you all put in.
And I think we blew it in like an hour.
But for a while, you were up $4,000.
But I don't even think there was like, okay, here's your portion. It was like, boys, we're rich. Let's get a limo. So we did. It was exceptional. It was a great start to the trip.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw the money. I think, the leader of the group pilfered it all. But a story nonetheless. So yes, send in your best casino
favorite
stories, winnings. Yeah. I know they're few and far between, but not here at Century Sports Bar and Lounge. You're a winner just being with Reid.
You're a winner just coming to hang out at the watch party this evening and have a 6 o'clocker lager and watch a very significant football game between the Elks.
Oh, wow. Scott on a hotel balcony in Beaumont said, I don't know if it's a gambling story per se, but I won $67,000 on the 649 in 1997. It's relatable.
It's an incredibly happy story. I guess we're talking.
It's topical.
Yeah, the lottery, I guess, is gambling, though I don't consider it gambling the same way that we're talking about in terms of gambling at a table or at a machine or even on a horse race. My parents have a story. You've met them a couple times.
Yes, lovely.
That when they were newly,
are they coming tonight?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That when they were newly married or going to get married, I think they bet on horses 3 and 5 in an exactor at some track and won like $80. This was in the early 70s.
That's a lot of money.
$80.
That's probably like $800.
So that's always their go-to if they
could pay for a week of feeding Reid.
I don't even think I was born.
Little Reid.
Yes. Look at the horse he paid off. But so we haven't gone to the races in a couple of years, but usually we would go to Northlands was open once or twice a summer. I would take them for their anniversary, get one of the tables in the lounge there. And if they didn't know what to bet or some race, they would just be like, "Oh, should we bet 3 and 5?"
Right.
Exactor.
Okay. Sure.
And I'd be looking at the odds.
Nobody knows.
I'd be like, "Well, 3 is number 3 because he only has 3 legs."
We got a gray over at Albuquerque.
Are we going to bet on it?
Right there.
How long till the race?
I don't know if it started or if it's finished.
I don't know which.
No, it's the official result. Dang it!
Oh, that's the one that won already.
Of course. Hello.
Gray horses are fast. So
gray horses.
So they'll be like, "Well, we're going to bet on 3 and 5," and I'll be like, "Okay, just to let you know, 3 only has 3 legs. That's why it's number 3, and 5's been scratched. But if you want to bet on it, I can go place a $2 bet for you."
Well, if something gets scratched or you just get your money back, even money, even if it's on a parlay.
But $67,000 in 649, that is a significant amount of money. There we have it.
Big Uke. I'm not even going to pre-read it. I'm just going to go live with it.
All right, Big Uke, we're trusting you.
And he'll be here tonight. He's part of the Chicken Wing Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Which we filled up.
So
we've got all the contestants are here.
Where's it going to happen?
Over here, kind of in our seats.
Okay.
We've got Dash entered this morning. He said, I want to be in it.
Oh, good. Okay.
So Dash in the Park will be in it. Big Uke says, my best personally was before an Oilers-Canucks game at Edmonton. A couple buddies in from Saskatchewan went to the casino at Rogers, threw 20 into a machine, got a lovely bonus, and won $400. Thought, heck yeah. Pulled it out, threw in another 20. A couple spins later, another bonus.
Oh.
$400. cashed out just the same as it was about to start. Beers were covered for the night. My dad had the best night, and okay, maybe Big Uke's been into the 6 o'clock loggers already.
It started at 6 a.m. on a Friday.
I don't know.
You must have an extra long weekend.
But it was nonetheless a big win for our Big Uke, and somebody asked, was Jay Onright pooping himself part of your adobo trip, Reid? I think that means Seattle. Somebody, I think
no, it
he
was
asked
Mark. It was my buddy Mark.
Oh, on your casino trip.
The casino
Jay,
trip was
okay.
Mark. Jay was almost pooping himself our ballpark tour on the eastern side of the United States in 2007.
Totally separate sides, right?
Seattle in 2006.
Well, Chris Sadaway says that they were in best one. My wife and I were at the River Cree for her birthday. Bartender said, go and play the day's number, which was 29 on the roulette table. We immediately went to the closest table, and lo and behold, hit it.
Leon's number. We're going to hear from Leon.
We're going to hear from him, yeah.
Later on the show. Too bad there's no 97 on a roulette wheel. That would be popular.
I think that would get a lot of run here.
Does Keno go up to 100 or does Keno go up to 80?
80.
So you couldn't bet 97. There would never be 97 horses.
You bet 79.
You could bet 79.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Who's the last Oiler to wear 79? Somebody text that in. Has an Oiler ever worn 79? Not that there's usually a number register. There we go. List of all the Oilers sweater numbers. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Let's see if there's an Oiler who's ever worn 79. Oh,
79.
Okay. How many have there been?
Dylan Simpson.
Oh,
sorry.
Dylan Simpson. Craig's son.
He's the only one.
He played a regular season game?
Yeah.
I didn't think he played a regular season game. I guess he did.
Okay, Andrea said, I have a casino
You have to
story.
write it out, though.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. She's teasing.
They're teasing us.
She's teasing, Reid.
All right. We are going to be joined by Chris O'Leary from CFL.ca. He used to write for the Edmonton Journal here in Edmonton. We're going to get to my top three, and you are contributing the off-topic topic for William Huff, your best favorite casino /
Keep them coming.
Yeah, well, casino story. I mean, winning the lottery would be pretty cool, but that's not the type of gambling we're talking about. We're talking you go to a table or a machine, or maybe you bet some three-legged horse that actually wins a race.
Yes. And
comes in at 500 to 1. We are at Century Casino, Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. You already saw a nasty here. We have our EST watch party for the game at 6. People can really come whenever they want.
6 o'clock loggers are already on special.
They're already on specials. Well, that started at 3. You said
3 o'clock.
I guess they would be on special. All right, we will go to the Coop for a sports break. Sports update presented by Wheelers RV.
It's Elks and Bombers tonight in the CFL, and the entire EST crew will be at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for an EST watch party. Kickoff for that game is at 6, and the BC Lions face the Tiger Cats. That game goes at 8:30, while over in the NHL, preseason continues with Avs, Stars, Predators, Lightning, and the Kraken and Canucks with the opening game at 4 o'clock. The Oilers get back at it tomorrow against the Seattle Kraken. It was LA Kings defenseman Drew Doughty undergoing surgery on his fractured ankle, and he's listed as month-to-month. In 82 games last season, Doughty scored 15 goals and 35 assists for 50 total points. Jets defenseman Logan Stanley is undergoing knee surgery and will be out a minimum 4 weeks. The Jets play tonight at 6. The Chargers have listed QB Justin Herbert, offensive tackle Joe Alt, and defensive end Joey Bosa as questionable for Sunday. It's Chargers-Chiefs Sunday. Falcons RB Bijan Robinson fully participated in practice and is good to go against the Saints, while it was Saints wide receiver Chris Olave and running back Alvin Kamara questionable this weekend. Saints Falcons is Sunday at 11. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheelers RV Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheelers RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months, get one free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. Just after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, the President's Cup. Man, oh man. What a swing today.
What a day. Down 5-0 after day one and are on the verge. The Siwoo Kim and Byung-Hun An are up 1 on the 18th.
Yep.
So they could make a 5-point total comeback today.
So the States would have gone 5 for 5 yesterday, and the Internationals are on the verge of going 5 for 5 today.
Incredible.
Mackenzie Hughes and Corey Connors, a couple of Canadians, beat Tony Finau and Wyndham Clark 6 and 5. So I mean, Matsuyama and Im beat Cantlay and Shoffley 7 and 6. Scott and Pendrith beat Morikawa and Theala 5 and 4. So 3 matches were blowouts. Day and Bezedanut, I hope I said that. I always struggle saying that one. Christian
there's some tough ones.
Bezedanut, I think is how you say it, beat Harmon and Homa 1 up, and then it's over. So it's 5-5 after being 5-0 for the States yesterday. So the weekend will be pretty interesting. I mean, yesterday's matches were a lot closer. 3 of them were 1 up. 1 of them was 2-1. I should also say, I know I really like golf. I like watching the majors. The President's Cup and the Ryder Cup interest me as well because there's not a lot of match play. If you don't follow golf, the way we were just giving the scores was really confusing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just to tell people quickly. So when it's match play, if your overall score does not matter. You either win a hole or tie a hole or lose it. So if Jay and I were golfing and Jay birdied the first hole and I parred it, he'd be 1 up. If we then both parred the remaining 17 holes, you would win the match 1 up.
Yeah.
If you were 1 up on me playing 17 and you won that hole, the match would end because I can't win. You would be 2 holes ahead. So then they put the score as Milne beats Wilkins 2-1. So it's like he was 2 ahead with 1 remaining.
Well,
That's
and
how they do
like, let's say this. Matsuyama and Sanjay Im won 7 and 6 today.
That's a blowout.
That's a blowout.
They only played 12
That means
holes.
they were up 7 strokes with 6 holes to left.
They're up 7 holes.
You're dormied. You're done.
Yeah, they're up 7 holes.
Yeah, they're up.
Yeah.
Sorry. 7 with 6 holes remaining. You can't come back.
And the good thing about that is the theory is, lead to more aggressive shot making. Because if you take a quadruple bogey, it doesn't matter. You lost the hole. Doesn't matter if you lose it with with a birdie and the other guy eagles, or you lose it with an 8 and the other guy got a 5.
Right.
You lost the hole. So it can lead to, well, I'm going to try to make an eagle because if I hit it into the pond, whatever, I'm only losing the hole as opposed to dropping 5 strokes in a tournament. So anyway, that's incredible. The huge turnaround.
Massive. E-Town Beatdown says, my wife and I went to Vegas for the first time. Neither of us are really into gambling, but me a little more than her. I put a $5 into a Star Wars machine, played penny per line kind of thing. The moment we won huge, $12.70. I thought my marriage might have been over if I didn't cash out. That's a big win.
Well, I have, that's one saying that the best way to be ahead gambling is as soon as you win, as soon as you're ahead, stop gambling for the rest of your life.
Well, but the funny thing is like, I'll read another story here from Spency 5 Centsy, because the rush of gambling is not always directly correlated to the stake and to the payout.
Right.
It's just the rush of a win.
Yes.
Right. So Spency 5 Centsy, his favorite gambling store was going to an Oilers Blackhawks game last season with money on it for the first time. Okay. He bet the McDavid. So he made a parlay. So that's when you combine 3 different bets. McDavid over 1.5 points, Hyman goal, and Hyman over 3.5 points. After winning the first 2 bets and the Oilers leading the game, I just needed one more shot on goal from Hyman. Late in the game, Hyman shot one right into the pads of the goalie to win the prop, and I started high-fiving people around me who were looking very confused until I explained I had just won a bet. In total, I won about $200.
Just needed a shot on goal, not even a goal. People were like, was that the game when Bedard scored early in the game? Remember that one? Bedard came down the left wing and ripped one in.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, someone's sending pictures of themselves gambling. That's
wow.
Incredible. People really send us stuff. It's interesting. They trust us, I guess.
Holy smokes.
780-218-9999 is how you text.
Stop the phone. Stop the phone. Nico's dad, this is backed up with evidence, too. He sent a picture. We went to Vegas for my best friend's birthday, 58 years old, and he was playing one of those poker games, kind of like what Reid was talking about. He usually bets $200 to $250 a hand, but he also plays $25 on that little side bet that you would play $1 or $5 or $6.
Whatever, yeah.
Well, truth be told, he hit a 7-card royal flush, which is about the best hand you can get. It paid 8,000 to 1. So including winning the hand, he won about $230,000.
That's amazing.
And look, there's a picture of his hand.
Okay, yeah, so you could use all 7 cards if they all made a hand, right? That's amazing.
That is incredible.
So he had the 8, 9,
10, Jack, Queen, King of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts, right?
Ace of Hearts.
7-card royal flush.
Oh,
congratulations.
Baby.
That's amazing. And he backed it up with a picture.
Yeah, that's real proof. There's no stories here. I hope you're coming down tonight. If you are, bring your friend. Yeah, I'd love to hear that in person.
That's amazing.
Maybe he can teach us what to do.
What does Rusty say?
Every time I hear Reid say the Coob, it makes me think of a Kubi burger.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, Kubi burger. I could smash a Kubi burger right now. God, those are so good. A little, or like a cheddar cheese melted on top.
Are you hungry? We'll eat later.
Sauteed onions.
I'm done work at 5. This is early for me.
Sauteed, yeah. I got to put in.
This is really different.
Somebody's got to carry the show, Reid.
It's going to be you. I was on, what's the guy in the morning? Justin Nelson?
I think his name is Justin Nielsen.
I was on that show yesterday, and he said, so what's different for you with this job? Like the hours or what? I said, yeah, well, the hours, because I'm done at 6 instead of 8. And now there's an Elks game. I'm done even earlier. So I'm going to stay here and watch with everybody. It's crazy. You got to work all night. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
So it is 4 weeks of us doing the show together. We're basically a month in. So we've made it. Dustin Nielsen, yes, I know his name, everybody, hasn't told us to stop doing the show. So you and I have talked about this periodically since we've been together. And you said you should just do your top 3 on that, because he goes, you were like, it's funny. Some of the things people say to you is funny, and then you were like, it's funny how frustrated you get. So here comes my top 3 for Fuge Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. You get 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in store. So you could just walk into Fuge Sausages, yell out Edmonton Sports Talk, 10% off.
Wow.
Free delivery
Discount.
in Edmonton. Orders over $100. As Fuge Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. Top 3 questions, in brackets, annoying/frustrating questions, I keep getting since I changed jobs.
Classic.
So the timeline for me, just to quickly recap, I won't go over the whole story. Tendered my resignation from 6:30 CHED 2 days after Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Worked until July 18th or 19th. Was formally publicly announced as the host of this show on July 26th. This show launched September 3rd. Okay? And look, it's like we say about your fantasy team. Nobody cares about your fantasy team as much as you do. Nobody cares about my career as much as I do. So I know what I'm doing is not the be-all and end-all, but I do appreciate there are some listeners who say, hey, we want to keep listening to you, or where are you going, or whatever. So it's fun. But here are the top 3 questions I keep getting since changing jobs that I find somewhat frustrating / amusing, not amusing. Oh, you're with Edmonton Sports Talk. What radio station is that? Well, it is a streaming station. As people know, if they're tuning into this right now, you can get it live.
Yeah.
You can get it on an app, which, by the way, is how a lot of people are consuming quote-unquote traditional radio now, too. So I guess the frustrating part to that is, to me, it's like, well, what station is on? I'll say, well, you get it online, you can watch it on YouTube, or you just stream it through an app on your phone. I don't know if I can do that.
Like iHeartRadio or TuneIn.
This actually happened to me earlier this week.
Yes, I saw it happening.
This gentleman says to me, oh, you need an app, eh? Oh, I don't know about that. I was like, well, I can show you. He's like, no, I know how to do it. I listen to Chet on my phone. And I was like, so it's the same. It's the same thing, everybody. So if you're out there, and this is what Jay does. Well, tell them what you do with friends and family when they're like, oh, I don't know what to do.
I said, give me your phone.
Right.
Give me your phone right now. I go to edmontonsportstalk.com and I add it to their home screen. It looks like an app.
Yes.
So for some of these people that need to click a button on the phone, there you go. Press play.
It's really easy to help people. And yes, you can listen in your car. The thing is, we're telling people who are already listening, so they know. But we're just asking you, help us out. Help us out.
Save Reid.
Or if people actually care about listening to me, where's Reid? Just show them the app and just say right here. And there's a whole bunch of other people that you're going to like too.
Yes.
So that's kind of like, how do we consume you? What station is it on? Number 2 would be, again, oh, what are you doing now? You left Ched. Yeah, I went to Edmonton Sports Talk. Well, what is that? Oh, it's a streaming station here in Edmonton, a bunch of known personalities. Oh, so you're a podcaster now.
Oh.
or a friend actually texted me this yesterday. She lives overseas, and we were kind of catching up.
Yeah,
and
great friend of yours.
I sent her a link to watch the show on YouTube, and she goes, oh, so you're a YouTuber. I said, well, the show is on YouTube, but it's actually a live station. So when do you do the show? I said, every weekday. I said, I just want you to understand something. This is exactly what's been happening in the quote-unquote traditional radio world for decades.
Yes.
We just happen to be delivering it slightly different. So I think that's one thing I want to – and there's another gentleman, you were there. He kept asking me about how we got into podcasting and how we like doing a podcast. And I said, I hope I wasn't rude, but I said, hey, I just want to clarify – we're going to be broadcasting live. We're doing a live show.
Yeah.
You can get it after the fact, like a podcast, but this isn't just like the Only Murders in the Building podcast, where wherever somebody gets killed, they do an episode and tape it and put it out. We do live stuff, which, by the way, is exactly what I did before.
Yes.
I did a live show, and then it also got podcast for people who needed to consume it after.
It's not all that different.
So that's the thing. It's not all that different. The means of consuming it is changing slightly. But it's not all that different. But I understand it can be something to wrap your head around. Do you want to interject anything?
No, I just think it's so funny. But
glad Reid landed on his feet. But see, here's the thing. Another thing, Coach Vic. Well, Coach Vic knows this. I was never off my feet because I
I think what you did,
I resigned. I did not. I was not laid off.
If I could put this into something that people would understand, I would say Reid was on his feet and did the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Willy Wonka tumble roll up onto his feet again to reappear at EST.
Right.
I think we should cut your head onto that.
I was a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent. By your own choice.
Yes. But no, I appreciate it. And I know Vic's a great supporter and a great listener. So here's the other one.
And that's the other thing. I was going to interject earlier, but I have to now, just after what Coach Vic said. People do care about your career. They care about you.
Them.
Yeah, because you're that's just the way that you've built these relationships, right? People want to see you succeed, and people want mostly to see you smile, and they want to see you have that funny little chuckle you have.
I don't like smiling. No emotion. Steady emotion.
Come on. Yeah, there's a chuckle. It's beautiful.
So here's number 3. Again, all from the same sorts of things. Oh, hey, Reid. So what's going on with you? You're not on Chet anymore. No, I resigned from 630 Chet. I'm with Edmonton Sports Talk. So are you and Rob Brown going to do Overtime Open Line? No, I don't work at that station, so therefore will not be part of any of their programming.
Yeah.
It's not. I know that question is coming from a positive place.
Sure.
That's the show that got the most listens. That was the one immediate after Oilers games. That's the number one passion. As much as I love doing Inside Sports, I know there were probably a lot of people who didn't know it existed. They just knew me from hockey. So I get it. But no, that would be like someone saying, I went to A&W to manage an A&W store, and they said, so are you going to still manage a couple days a week at McDonald's?
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. So just to clear, and I guess for the audience members, if you do care about me, help me out if someone's asking.
Grab their phone.
Grab their phone.
We give you permission to
put
grab
them
their
on
phone.
there. Yeah, put them on there. Say, here's Reid, here's Jay. Do this. There's Dustin. Everybody's happy. We're off and running. The programming expanded by 5 hours because of Dustin and Matt's hard work and Hernan and Gager and everybody else and you. So that's what we're doing. So we're having some fun with this one. The top 3 is going to be like that, as people know. Sometimes it'll be sports. Sometimes it'll be life or whatever. But my top 3 somewhat annoying questions or inquiries. I keep getting. Now, the thing is, I'll probably keep getting those. But I also know sometimes with audience members, again, we hope to be a part of your day, but we realize there's more to your day than us. We're glad you take us into your world and listen to us or watch us on YouTube. But we know, you got other things going on. I remember a few years ago, this guy says to me, "Oh, hey, Reid. Yeah, hey. Yeah, I'm such and such. Oh, okay, cool. Nice to see you. Yeah, I used to watch you when you were on TV. Oh, cool. Yeah, you saw me when I was in Lloyd there. No, I saw you when you were working in Lethbridge. I was like, oh, no, I didn't work in Lethbridge. I worked in Lloyd. No, I saw you on the Lethbridge station. I was like, oh, I said, I don't know about that. I never lived or worked in Lethbridge. He's like, no, you did. I saw you on the Lethbridge station. Okay. What do you do? What do you say after a while?
No, it is funny. But you know what? Every day, I was at a meeting today. I had to leave the hangout for. Everybody's busting my butt about that. Yeah, and the one person I was in the meeting with, he said that my car doesn't even have AM radio.
Yeah, they're making them without now, right?
So I said, well, I bet you it has the tune-in app. He says, yeah, it does. Yeah, okay. So, it is a slippery slope that's happening.
So are they now making vehicles so you can get FM, and then on the panel, on the display, there are apps.
It's like a big phone. It's like you've seen the inside of a Tesla, right? It's like a giant iPad.
What do I look like, Elon Musk's son?
You could probably, yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure.
Egon Musk.
It's like a giant iPad.
Oh, so you can bring up all your apps there.
Yeah, it's an extension of your phone.
You turn your car on, and then you two-click to us instead
of one click
to us.
You're in.
Yeah, that is amazing. It is an interesting transition.
Well, and it's not going to go the other way anytime soon. I can assure you of that.
We're not going to go back to analog. I'm never going to be able to buy a TV again where I have to get up and spin to change the channel.
Click, click, click.
Did you had TVs?
Yeah, like channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. But in Edmonton, it was channel 3, 5, and 8, or 13.
Yeah, that's what we had in Evansburg, 3, 5, and 13.
13 was
I've
ITV.
Told you this story. People who listened to me before will know this. So we had to I think it was called a rotor or something. We had this device under our TV that was connected to our aerial.
Okay.
So the Oilers used to be Wednesday Night Hockey on ITV. We had to spin the aerial. So if we got CBC and CTV out of Whitecourt or something, but then ITV you had to get directly from Edmonton.
So you had to rotate.
So the aerial was like northwest for CBC and CTV, and then east to watch Oilers games. But then you couldn't get the other channels; they'd go completely fuzzy.
I can imagine the video quality was supreme.
It was quite poor. It was quite poor. All right, 780-218-9999. If you want to jump into the EST inbox, you can go into the nasty chat. Too many messages to reply to, but we appreciate. We'll try to get in some later on as people are having fun on a Friday.
Oh no! Somebody did clarify who the you were trying to reference two hosts that are on the morning show here.
Yes.
So yes, it is verified. Justin Nelson and Captain Derek.
Captain Derek.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott. On a hotel balcony.
He's here a lot, because he's here for Monday and Thursdays.
Captain Derek.
And I think he's coming tonight for Elks Bombers. We hope you can drop by and say hi. Jay and Matt will have the Green and Gold kickoff show at 5. I will retire early for the week. And, of course, they'll be on after the game as well. We will talk some more CFL with an old friend of mine. He used to write here in Edmonton, Chris O'Leary, now with CFL.ca. Quick break, then a sports update with the Coob, and then Chris.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to JamesHBrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
It's Elks Bombers tonight in the CFL, and the entire EST crew will be at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the action. Kickoff for that game is at 6, and over at the BC Place, the 5-9 Ticats play the 7-7 Lions. That game goes at 8:30. Over in the NHL, preseason continues with the Avs Stars, Preds Lightning, and Canucks and Kraken with the opening game at 4 o'clock. The Oilers get back at it tomorrow against the Kraken. LA Kings defenseman Drew Doughty is to undergo surgery on his fractured ankle and will be out month to month. In 82 games last season, Doughty scored 15 goals and 35 assists for 50 total points. Jets defenseman Logan Stanley is undergoing knee surgery and will be out a minimum of 4 weeks. The Jets game tonight goes at 6. In the NFL, the Chargers list QB Justin Herbert, offensive tackle Joe Alt, and defensive end Joey Bosa as questionable. It's Chargers-Chiefs Sunday. Falcons RB Bijan Robinson is good to go Sunday against the Saints, while Chris Olave and running back Alvin Kamara for the Saints are questionable this weekend. It's Saints-Falcons Sunday at 11. Right now, it's the Reid Wilkins Show, and Chris O'Leary from CFL.ca will join Reid and Jay in just a moment. I'm Zachary Kubish. And now you're up to date.
Thank you.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, hi.
I got to watch the monitor. All right, we are live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. The final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne for this week. Zachary Kubish is back at the Edmonton Sports Talk studio. We're going to have Chris O'Leary join us in about a minute. Chris, just hang tight. I made a bet at Santa Anita. I bet on the long shot to show, so finish in the top 3, but I bet $5. And
wow.
Right now, Bold Daughter is the name of the horse, is running 4th.
I'm on the I also made a bet. I'm on the 3-5 on an exactor.
The Wilkins, the
Wilkins special.
The Bob and Louise Wilkins exactor special. So that's what we got there. Of course, we are in the James H. Brown mobile studio today. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check them out, jameshbrown.com today. Book your private consultation. The watch party for Edmonton Sports Talk is tonight. You can show up now if you want.
Well, the Combine crew just showed up.
Combine crew's already here. So
Jason, the Acadian, just showed up. Oh, the 5's moving, Reid. No.
Yeah, 6 is fading, but 3-5 is, 3 is also fading. Well, 3's okay. We may not win money on this race, my friend. I'm going to tell a quick story before I bring in my next guest. So as you know, and I was talking about with Doug McLean yesterday, this would have been probably 2007 or 2008, doing play-by-play for Golden Bears basketball.
Okay.
And Matt Gooch was the sports information director.
Love Gooch.
3 got 3rd.
Oh, there's your 6.
Is that 6? 6 was a distant last. That's why she was the long shot.
I had to take a break to see that one.
So, you kind of, these broadcasts, you kind of plan them on the fly, or, I had another job. You show up and do the games. And so I said to Matt, who else is here tonight? And he said, the guy who's covering the team for the Journal is here. I said, I'll get him on at halftime. So I did an extensive halftime interview with the person covering the team for the Journal. And I thought it went pretty well. I thought this person was very nice, very informed. We had an interview. And then I think it was during the Pandas game. And then between the Pandas and Bears games, Matt Gooch came up to me and said, so you did that interview at halftime, right? And I said, yeah, it went really well. But Matt seemed like something was wrong. Like, not serious, but I got the impression like, okay, why is he following up about this? And he goes, well, you know who you did the interview with? I was like, yeah, Sean O'Leary. And Matt was like, yeah, his name is Chris O'Leary. You called him Sean the entire interview. So then a few years ago, we'll bring Chris O'Leary in. Chris, I know I always tell that story, but can you then tell them, because it's in our Twitter DMs when I asked you, I don't know if it still shows up for you. Can you tell me that photo you sent of your coffee mug a couple of years ago? Do you remember this?
Oh my God.
You ordered a coffee and they put Sean on your cup.
They did, yeah. They did, yeah. They for some reason people seem to think I'm Sean. I'm not sure why, but I think, as I did with you, I think I just tend to roll with it, and for the most part, works out.
Well, for the record, I absolutely think you look like a Chris. So I think we're not going to have this slip up anymore. Okay, I'm going to get things.
Look at our names are reversed on the.
Oh, there's the Coobs live broadcast. That'll be a Coobinator.
Chris, thanks for doing this, though. It's great to see you.
Okay, I wanted to ask you before, I do have a question, obviously, about tonight's game, but Rock Armstead and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, they're looking to solidify their place in the Western Division and move up the ranks and hopefully move towards a playoff spot. Rock Armstead went off last week. Do you think there's a chance that, given it's the revenge game against his former team, the Ottawa Redblacks, do you think there's a way that Rock Armstead could possibly recreate what happened last week?
I don't know if he's going to go for 207 yards again. That was pretty spectacular. But I think he could have a good game. I mean, I think Ottawa's going to miss Darius Pickett, right? He's out for the season with an Achilles injury. So, I mean, I think there's opportunity there just on that front, and then there's that whole factor of the revenge game. He was released, I think, September 3rd. I'm sure he wasn't happy to go. He was one of the league's top rushers. There was clearly some sort of, chemistry issue. There was something that wasn't lining up there. They got rid of him. So he's got plenty of motivation. I think he'll want to do well. He knows that defense well. He practiced against it up until September 3rd, right? So I think I think there's a lot of stuff there that suggests he could have a good game. I don't know if he'll go for 270 yards. I think the other thing to keep in mind is he was up against the worst rush defense in the league last week and was able to go for 207. I think they give up like 150 or 170. So, I mean, it wasn't a huge leap for him to do what he did, when you look at it on paper. But I think that it's there for him to have a big game. Maybe 100-yard game is a more realistic expectation. But it's definitely something Sask missed. And, it adds something to this week's game for sure.
Well, I also saw that 10 CFL contributors that always make their picks known were on 9 out of 10 of them are on Winnipeg to win tonight. 6 out of 10 of them are on Winnipeg against the spread, which is -4.5 currently. As the senior writer at CFL.ca, I want to know where Chris O'Leary's at for this big match tonight.
Will the Bombers cover the spread? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, or yes. Okay, let's just simplify. Will the Bombers cover a 4.5 point spread?
I think so.
Oh no.
I think so.
I appreciate your honesty, but please go ahead.
I just think Winnipeg's hitting a good groove. I think there's too much of a question mark right now at quarterback. You're just throwing a totally different element into the mix there. I think Winnipeg's into a good spot right now. They won 6 in a row. I just think, they won comfortably last week against Edmonton. They're back at home now. I would feel like they would cover that spread.
What, from your view, from outside the market, how do you look at this quarterback situation here in Edmonton? And I guess with the stuff with Trey Ford goes back certainly to last year and even to the year before, though I know he got hurt after he won a game in 2022. I mean, we talk about it a lot. It gets talked about a lot in the city. You're interested in it, both because of your job and because you used to live here. But now from a little bit more of a distance, how do you sort of view how this has gone with Trey Ford and MBT?
I don't know. I feel like if you go back and look at what I've written this season and last year too, I'm big on Trey Ford. I just think there's no other quarterback like him in the CFL right now. There's for sure a learning curve that comes with that, with putting a young quarterback in and letting him kind of go through the ebbs and flows of a season and, with his own play and just kind of learning to navigate that. I just don't think he's really gotten a solid chance at doing that yet. The last 2 years, I think at least, he's come in when they've been deep in the hole, 0-7, 0-9, what have you. He's not really set up for success. I'd love to see that for him at some point where he can just kind of come in and be the starter. That said, I've seen a lot of McLeod Bethel-Thompson in my time in Toronto. And, I think he's a good quarterback. But I think the thing is we know what we have with McLeod Bethel-Thompson. And I see Trey Ford and his ceiling to me is much higher. Right? And even just in terms of, you look at I think he's 26. He's got his whole career in front of him and, just shows so much. I'd love to see him just get a straight chance, from day one, in the winter, have a team say, he's our guy, this is what we're going with, and give him a training camp, give him the season and just say, we're going to weather the storm unless it's like catastrophic where he's throwing like 5 or 6 interceptions in back-to-back games or something, but you're just going to take the bad with the good, let him grow and hope the team grows with him, would be the ideal for me. I don't know. I understand the change this week. I think I can see where Jarius Jackson's coming from, where they need wins, right? I think they're not mathematically eliminated if they lose this week, but like it gets worse for them, right? They're at a point where they
wins, yeah.
They need wins. So I see if and you didn't like what you got from Trey last week, you didn't take care of the ball, and you need that win. That's the move you make. But in my ideal world, I would just love to see Trey get a shot from day one, make it clear you're the number one guy, and just kind of live or die with that, and see how that goes.
Chris O'Leary from CFL.ca joining us this afternoon as we're teeing up the Elks and the Bombers and looking at some other CFL storylines. I want to get your perspective on this as well. What a year with some of the streaks. I mean, we all know what happened here. Winnipeg did not start the season well. BC had a long winning streak and then a long losing streak, and they've had quarterback changes there too. Hamilton's found a way to hang around. I mean, kind of Montreal's been up there most of the time. Is there a why to this in your mind? Is it just kind of one of those years? But there's been some extremes for a lot of teams in both ways this year.
Yeah, I don't have a why. I wish I did. I'd probably be of more value to teams probably if I knew why. But I mean, it's kind of fascinating to watch. Like, I was saying, like you said in the intro, around 2007, 2008 was when I started kind of spending time around the Elks and the CFL. And I can't think of a season that I've seen like this one where it just feels, I mean, Montreal, you're right, is kind of still at the front of the pack, but I mean, from 2 through 9, it feels still very much up for grabs, and really that anything could happen in these next 4 weeks or so. Just so strange to me that, you mentioned the bad starts. I mean, Edmonton, Hamilton, Winnipeg, all struggling. And you could argue, maybe last week excluded, that those 3 are probably the hottest teams in the league right now. And again, I've never seen that. I know it's a league with a ton of history, over 100 years. So it's hard to say you've never seen that before, but I've never seen that kind of parity. And, to me, it's super fun just to see where this is going to go. Right. I mean, we've got 4 weeks left. One team has clinched a playoff spot. There's one home game determined. We don't even know which game that's going to be, right? Whether it's the Eastern Final or the East Semi. I just think it's a lot of fun. And, I think it makes for a sense of kind of just like must-see TV for all 4 games every week the rest of the way into the playoffs.
Chris, I got to ask, because this is now going to be becoming a topic of conversation as to who is the most outstanding player currently. This has been a year where there hasn't been a player that has separated themselves and is by far and away. I mean, last week was the first time Brady Oliveira saw the end zone. Is it a defensive player? Is it, possibly a fellow like Niles Morgan who's tearing things up here in Edmonton? But is this an odd year for you to see that it hasn't been somebody that has taken the next step to claiming that title? And who do you think ultimately that's going to be?
I mean, the short, unexciting answer is I don't know. I'm kind of and I think that's part of what makes it interesting. Is
it's part of the problem, or not the problem? Yeah.
There isn't a runaway candidate. And I think back to years where, I mean, most of the time it's a quarterback that wins this thing, right? And you got a little visitor there. I think when it isn't a quarterback, certain things have to happen, right? It's usually quarterback injuries. The parity probably plays into it too, right? That there isn't one runaway team that's clear ahead of the pack. Montreal's at 11 wins, but Fajardo was hurt and missed 3 games. And I think that kind of slowed his MOP momentum. I think when you have that, it kind of just sets the foundation for like abnormal things to happen, right? And that's where in years past, you'd see a Brandon Banks win it, where it opens the door for receivers. G. Royce Simon, Solomon Elamimian, I think the only defensive player to ever win it. And it happened in a year like that where it was, there wasn't a lot of quarterback production. And there was the ground was more even, and it just kind of opened up a more interesting debate. I think there are a ton of candidates. You could look at a defensive player again. You said Niles Morgan. I think of Roland Milligan in Saskatchewan, who's had a great year. Right. Tyrell Ford has, similarly 6 interceptions. He's tied for the league lead. Has been amazing. You could look in a lot of different directions. I think Bo Levi Mitchell's an interesting one. Just because his production is there, but the wins haven't been. If the Ticats miss the playoffs, is he a worthy MOP? I don't know. And then I think I go back to Fajardo too, just where, you do look at the best record, and, he has stats that, you can argue for him in terms of taking care of the ball. I think passing percentages, QB efficiency, he's at the top or near the top in those. But so like I was saying before, with never seeing a season like this in terms of parity, I mean, it's kind of in terms of the MOP argument, there really isn't that clear-cut runaway person. And, I think there's still, in these 4 weeks, I think we could still see somebody make a really strong case and kind of pull voters in a direction. So they're not, I don't think anyone's leaning in one direction right now.
Yeah. Chris, it's great to see you again. We'll have you on the show again, but I really appreciate you making time for me. It's great that you'll still do interviews with me because of the name thing, but just in general that we're still doing interviews together. 16 years or so.
No, it's
after
awesome.
Our first one. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. Another huge weekend in the CFL.
No, absolutely. You guys too. Take care.
That's Chris O'Leary from CFL.ca. I loved how he threw out Tyrell Ford's name, or threw in Tyrell Ford. I don't know for maybe defensive player of the year if he winds up, he's at 6 picks. Wouldn't that have been something if you'd gone to Elks fans on February 1st and said, hey, Ford's going to win an individual award?
Nobody would have thought
sorry,
that,
Tyrell, not Trey. Trey's still going to be on the bench half the season. But he also made an interesting point. He thinks, and a lot of, I'm sure, Elks fans will feel this way. He basically said, it'd be great if a team took Trey Ford and said in December or January, you're the guy. If he's not back with the Elks and no team gives him that opportunity, then that's going to be an interesting dialogue around that player, because there's certainly the sentiment in this market, to at least some extent, that he's been mismanaged and shortchanged when it comes to an opportunity. What if other teams have the opportunity to give him that opportunity and don't give him that opportunity? Will that change how people perceive how he was treated by the Elks? I know I'm going down what if alley a bit, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we've talked about it on the show, how he's never been given the ball at the start of training camp, not 1 year. He's come in, he's played well at times. I'll say more often, probably more often than not. He's played well given the circumstances of the season. And that's what we said. And it's such a weird situation. I don't know. Is Hamilton the team? That's been the talk of the town. I mean, that's where he played his collegiate football. That's the part of Canada he's from.
Mm-hmm. And
could they be the ones to say, look, we're going to take you in and give you the ball and say, you're our guy? And there is a chance. There's it's not a 50-50 at this point. It's more like a 60-40 chance that he's just not the guy, which is okay. Right? But there's no reason to suggest that, hey, we got to crown this guy as he's the next Russ Jackson. Right?
And that'll be a storyline. And I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but I'll just plant this seed for future discussion. Maybe it'll be in December or February when there's free agency. If Trey Ford is not back with the Elks, does another team sign him to be the starter? Or do they sign him and use him the way the Elks have used him? That'll be an interesting question.
Yep. And what is the difference if he comes in knowing, because that is a difference mentally. If you come in saying, hey, this is my job to lose. I'm the starting quarterback, which is I'm okay with as long as you can back it up. Right? And he's never been given that. He's always been thrust into this position in okay, well, we're going to give you a shot because it's not working over here.
Yep.
Right? And that's hard to deal with on a week-to-week basis.
I'm sorry to be looking over your shoulder. Can we read the CFL football pool message? What is that about?
I have a CFL football pool. This is probably back to a gambling take, right?
Okay.
I have a CFL football pool that has 17 people in it. I have ran it for the past 10 years. They live in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC. All 17 picked Winnipeg to win this week. Now, I will preface this by saying this is Gary from Winnipeg.
Well, I'll tell you what. I run a CFL pool that's been going since 2001. You'll be in it next year. I picked Winnipeg. Mine, you have 10 confidence points a week.
What was the confidence level, though?
I only gave him a 1. I put 7. So the most you can put on one game is 7. You can go.
I don't think you're wrong. This is not.
Should be favored.
They should be favored. They're the better team.
Maybe Edmonton should be slightly favored, though I think Winnipeg went off as a slight favorite last week.
Yeah, but there's a reason they play the damn game.
But here's the thing.
Right?
Because
you never know what's going to happen, and you certainly don't know what's going to happen. What if MBT goes nuclear today? Goes 29-34 for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they have 150 yards rushing. They beat Winnipeg 38-10.
That'd be incredible. That'd be nice. And put some heat on the Riders tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's play the game, baby. Let's see what happens out there and let the chips fall. No pun intended.
And this is how we talk. And I love talking about the mental side.
Yes.
And how players are feeling and confidence and doubt. if Edmonton wins tonight, then some of the seed in the heads of the Saskatchewan Roughriders tomorrow is going to be, we have to hold off Edmonton. If Edmonton loses tonight, then the Riders go into tomorrow's game thinking we got to pass the BC Lions, depending on what, you know what I mean? Like it's a different. Do you think they're always looking ahead?
No, they're not. They're not worried about Edmonton. They don't care about Edmonton
until next week.
Edmonton is a fart in the wind right now for them. They could care less because they're not doing what they did when they were on that streak. 3 of 4, they were turning heads. Now it's a little bit of a there he is, combine crew, boom, in the house.
So you don't think an Edmonton win today makes Saskatchewan feel a little tighter about the game tomorrow?
No, because I hope it doesn't. If it does, then you shouldn't be playing professional sports.
Well, maybe there's some guy who will get all ooby-gooby about it.
Ooby-gooby.
No, here's what
here's
what Saskatchewan wants. They want a Winnipeg win tonight. They also want a Hamilton win tonight because if Saskatchewan wins tomorrow, they jump into second. Though, I mean, their shots at first would be pretty slim. All right, we will tell you what happened at Oilers practice today. We'll have the oil understood for GCL Diesel. Coming up, a sports update for Sit and Sleep.
Elks Bombers tonight, and the entire EST crew will be watching the game from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge down on Fort Road. Come hang out with the fellas for kickoff at 6 p.m. BC Lions take on the Ticats tonight. That game goes at 8:30, while over in the NHL, preseason action continues right now, and it's the Hurricanes up 1-0 against the Panthers with 12 minutes to go in the first period. Predators Lightning game was postponed, but the Devils Islanders on tap, along with the Canucks and Kraken, and the Red Wings and Blackhawks for tonight. Tomorrow it's the Oilers back in action against the Seattle Kraken. Kings defenseman Drew Doughty is to undergo surgery on his fractured ankle, listed as a month-to-month, and in 82 games last season, Doughty scored 15 goals, 35 assists for 50 points. This sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months, interest-free. Just after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Let that one one play out, baby.
It's intense. Oilers tomorrow against Seattle, 7 o'clock at Rogers Place, preseason. And then another preseason game on Monday at 7 against the Vancouver Canucks. Then they're going to play those two teams on the road next week to finish off the preseason. So they're halfway through the schedule. We're here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for our watch party for the Elks and the Bombers game coming up at 6. We're randomly watching horse races. I'm down $5.
I only bet $2 a race, so this is
okay. Seriously,
well,
you wanted to share. I should have shared money with you. It only would have been $1.
No, I should have shared money with you because you bet way more than me.
Well,
must be that Ched money, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I found where Halsey buried the chest of doubloons,
doubloons
from whenever. All right. So Gazzola and I, Gazzola was at both sessions today. I only went to the first practice session, which was the NHL group. So all the guys you would expect to be on the
fancy
NHL
session
team. Yeah. The oil understood, of course, for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood. So
we should do that in studio. Run around and run up to the
camera and stare at it.
Yeah.
So a few things here just to touch on. Draisaitl, Arvidsson, and Skinner, we expect to be aligned when the season starts. It has not been aligned in a preseason game, though Draisaitl's only played in that one game. But Draisaitl today was asked about having the new line mates potentially.
Yeah, it's been good. Sometimes it's hard to, really make a lot out of practice. So I think we're going to have to get into some games and get playing and get into some game-like situations, but obviously two really skilled players. I think the makeup of it makes a lot of sense, and could be a good line. But obviously sometimes, you just got to work it out in games. So I'm looking forward to getting some games with them.
He was. I thought when he talked today, he praised those two guys, but at one point he also said, "I've had success with other line mates," and I know what hockey players are like. They don't want to make it sound like, "Oh, so glad to be done with that trash I played with in the past."
Yeah.
But there have been times if McDavid and Draisaitl aren't together, McDavid often gets the better wingers. And even we saw in the playoffs last year, and I remember Rob and I were stunned. Knobloch was proven right. Remember McLeod and Perry had been scratched?
Yeah.
And they brought them back in on Draisaitl's wing, and then they both scored or so it's like, okay, I guess this coach has the magic touch right now. But certainly in terms of line mates with a pedigree to finish and to be able to take those Draisaitl passes and pot them, it's something Leon hasn't had to that level. I mean, again, unless he's been on McDavid's line.
Or, power plays where he's,
plays.
But interesting to watch. And that was what they talked about on the morning show this morning when they interviewed Coach Knobloch. Said, is this the combination?
Right.
And he would not say, I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know. You just don't know. But it's better than it was last year, right?
Here's a specific comment, Draisaitl on Victor Arvidsson.
His first instinct is to go and get the puck, right? And once he has it, he's really skilled and really smart at finding open lanes. And I think one of his more underrated aspects is probably his hockey sense with the puck. And I can see it already, and just really excited to have him. Really excited to create some chemistry with him.
All right, so and I'm glad Draisaitl brought that up. I've always liked Arvidsson, even going back to Nashville. I mean, we talk about this all the time, and I was saying this when you asked me, what do you watch for in a player, a younger guy in preseason? I say, well, is he around the net? Is he in the mucky areas? And that's who I think Arvidsson is. He will go to the net. He will forecheck. And I love how Draisaitl said that his first instinct is to go get the puck, because that's still very important. You don't score if you don't have the puck. And I think sometimes a player could be put with Draisaitl and McDavid and think, my job is to get open.
Sure.
Which it is. But really, if you go get the puck, something positive is going to happen. Even if you go get it and give it to Draisaitl, then you can get open. But you got to get that puck first. And why is Hyman a good player? I mean, yes, he goes to the net and he finishes chances, But when it comes to the forecheck, he doesn't sit there and think, no, that's Connor and Nuge go and get it, and they got to go get it, and I stand in front and tap it in. He will go get it and protect it himself. I think Arvidsson has shades of that in his game. I don't think his puck protection is as good as Hyman. He might be a greasier player than Hyman.
Sure.
He might be more along. He might be closer to Draisaitl in terms of I can be a little cheesy out there.
Bring it on,
which we both like.
Yes,
I mean
no, we like, but you need.
Yes.
So
I'm more, and I'm not saying this to put down Skinner, but I'm more optimistic. I'm more, I guess, excited about the Arvidsson edition than the Skinner edition. I don't think Skinner is going to be a bad player. I think he could score, 20 plus as well. But I think that instinct to really dig in the corners, to be the first guy in on the forecheck. And Todd McClellan used to have a great saying talking about Draisaitl, saying, I've told Leon, you're on Connor's team, but you can be the first star. And I think Arvidsson has a little bit of that in him, where he's like, I know I'm on a team with star players, but I can drive the line. I can get in. I mean, he's not going to be better than Leon. I think deep down he knows that, but he can get in there and get the puck and start the forecheck and initiate the offense. You don't want players who are just going to wait for the stars to initiate everything. And that's what excites me about Arvidsson.
If I was to summarize, how Arvidsson would fit or will fit, it's just a motor. He's got a motor that's running constantly. It's a football term, but I think it applies to his style of play.
Well, he's a bit of a linebacker. I think if you translate him to football,
hey, the world needs ditch diggers too, man. Teams do too.
So, I mean, that should be the line, barring injuries or something very unusual happening. I don't think there's any need to break up Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and McDavid at this point. Speaking of Nugent Hopkins, I think it was Speck asking this question today, and I got to give him credit. He also asked it to Leon, but we're gonna use Nugent's answer here because I thought that was a little better. So they lost Holloway, they lost McLeod, and they lost Fogle. All those guys could skate. They were quick. Holloway was young. I guess the drawbacks would be Holloway was young, Fogle was inconsistent, and talking about those greasy areas, maybe McLeod didn't get to those as much, but they could all push the pace with their feet. So Speck said, maybe you're not on paper as fast a team as last year. How do you make up for that, or what do you do? Here was Nugent's answer.
The way you play as a team can determine whether you're a fast team or not. That's moving the puck quick, everybody on the same page, everybody understanding what their role is, but also where they're supposed to be on the ice at all times. And we got a good group of guys that understand all those things, and we still have fast players, and we brought in some guys that are great skaters too. Obviously, lost some good skaters, but brought in some good skaters too. So. But I think playing fast can be a team mindset, and that's obviously when we're playing our best, we're a fast team, but it's not just skating wise, it's moving the puck, thinking quick, and closing on teams quick.
Yeah, and that's really that's a great answer, and that's a great description. Of course, you love fast skaters, you love McDavid.
Very Nuge answer.
But you can push them. There's other ways to put. I mean, you played. I'm sure you as a defensive back, there were days that guy's a fast player, but I don't know. He doesn't worry me, but there might be game speed, or it's like, or the tempo of an offense in football. They're lining up and they're snapping, and I'm never resetting. I know you never felt that way because you were in total control all the time.
100%.
But, the hockey is like hockey, that pace, I think, comes from that tempo and that knowing, okay, when we get the puck across the red line, quick decision. Is there a guy to pass to, or do I shoot it in? We're all going, and the defense always feels like they're on the back heel. So that was a good.
Well, and knowing when you have them on their back heel and to keep that pressure continued.
Right.
I felt like that was, good teams do it better than poor teams, right? They do. Yeah. And they pounce.
So before we get to Knobloch, what happened for you?
Oh, big win. I've been doing the Reid Wilkins family bet, and it hit 3-5 exactor.
Do you know what you won?
Probably not much.
Because there were 3 horses in the race.
Yeah, the odds were on my side. I did.
Did you box them?
I did.
So where does it say? What are we looking at now? Oh, there it is. You won $1.80.
$1.80.
You would have won 90 cents then if you boxed it.
Yeah.
Still,
so
a win's a win. Like
I think it's no, the box cost you more, so I probably lost money in
you'll get
reality.
Your money back.
I don't think so. Reid. But hey, this is gambling with glue guy. I won, but I think I lost.
By the way, we are on opposite sides today. Because Wannick is
people.
usually on this. People have brought it up, eh?
There's been some people saying, this is weird.
So after 4 weeks, 19 shows, people are thinking, why are you guys on opposite sides?
It was all Wannick.
I'm not bothered by it, quite frankly. I'm used to doing stuff in different spots. All right, let's go to the Knobloch clips as well. Darnell Nurse, lightning rod. Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to say, playbook, I saw your comment. I'm going to answer it later in the show.
On air?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still do some text and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to finish these Oilers lines, though, because, we're getting close to the regular season. Knobloch was asked, and I can't remember who asked this one, but it's good it was a specific question. How does Darnell Nurse have a better season?
Every player goes through ups and downs, and I know last year there was a lot of talk about him not playing his best, and I know he feels that he's got more to give, but just playing with his instincts. He is so good at closing plays off with his speed, his length of his reach, and then his physicality. He's so strong and powerful. He can push guys off the puck if they want to try and protect it. And, I think with playing with that instinct of being a little more aggressive, I think that goes a long way and it'll lead to, more offensive opportunities.
Thought that was a good answer. I'm not going to talk about the contract.
No, you can't. It's a moot point.
He's got contract. But when Nurse plays well, that was a great point. He closes off space. He gets on guys. And he negates plays.
I think what he was saying there is he's been gripping the stick a bit. Just use your instinct. Play loose.
And I honestly wonder if Ekholm kind of supplanting him as the top guy on the
Godfather's
left side
in the house. Godfather's here.
Took some time to get used to. I mean, you never know what's going through a guy's head. I remember a play this past season. They were shorthanded. The Oilers were shorthanded. Rob and I, it was a road game. We're watching the game together. The puck got dumped into Nurse's corner. He battles with the guy, kind of gets the puck. Another forechecker comes in, kind of gives Nurse a legal cross-check, knocks him down to one knee. On one knee, Nurse spins, shields the puck from the two guys, and while he's on one knee, flips the puck out to center. And Rob Brown says, nobody's going to care about that play because he's shorthanded and he cleared the puck. Difficult play, hard play. But the coaches will notice that, and that's why he keeps getting ice time and put in those situations. He gets put in situations, and I know there were definitely downs and disappointing nights for him, but there were also nights, and Ekholm gave a great clip during the playoffs where it's like, okay, he's -1. And Ekholm was like, I'm out with Bush in the top line. We keep the puck in the other end all the time. Good for us. Now Nurse is getting some of those more difficult minutes.
Yes.
And, a -1 in 20 minutes against top 6 players the whole night really isn't so bad if you look at the work he does. And I'm not defending the nights. I know we had off nights and we wish there would have been a little more at some point. But I thought that was a good answer from Knobloch. He uses his speed. I guess maybe he's never going to be quite the crusher physically that it was hoped. That's also not as much in the game anymore. Negate plays, play smart, and don't press. You don't have to trick the heroic plays. Make the solid play.
Well, play how you got here. You're here for a reason. You have great instincts. You can read plays well. Trust yourself. And don't overdo it. Generally, players that get in a low like that, they'll want to go out of their way and do somebody else's job or try to do somebody else's job. Stay in your lane. Just do you to the best of your level, and it'll all be fine.
Well, I mean, Rob, you say all the time, simplify.
Yes.
If sometimes good things happen when you're just trying to do the simple, fundamental things, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do one more. I asked Knobloch today, and I'm gonna fully say first, and I didn't quite get as detailed an answer as I'm hoping for. But I also think what he didn't say was significant.
Okay.
I asked Knobloch about the right side D, Emberson, Brown, Stetcher, whoever else you want to throw in there. The right side D, how's it shaking out? And I said, is someone asserting themselves to the level that you would hope in the battle for those spots?
A lot of those guys that were in that away Calgary game, I didn't get the opportunity to watch that game, obviously in video, but I wasn't there for that game. So a lot of those players I haven't seen, I've seen very little of, and some of them I haven't seen at all live. So as we move forward in our last 4 exhibition games, I'll have the opportunity to see them. They'll be in the lineup a little bit more, and I'll be here for all of the games, so I'll have a better feeling on, how good they are. We sent Paul and Stewie to the Calgary game to evaluate those guys, just because we had a lot of those guys who were kind of in that game, just so they could watch them. But for me, I'll get a better feel these next 4 exhibition games.
All right, so I'll ask you, Jay Milne, the question. Do you buy the I don't have enough viewings, or do you view that as him? Well, I'll answer it this way because I'm not sure.
That was a non-answer answer. Yeah, they do. That's their job. They have video from both games.
Right.
And he has one of the best defensemen to ever play the game watching on his behalf as well. So that wouldn't bode well, in my opinion, for those that were down there, those of which the question was asked about.
So you read that as him basically indirectly saying, yeah, nobody's really blowing my socks off, so I'll just say
100%. Yeah.
So that's...
They were breaking down the film that night, Reid.
Of course.
Trust me, they were.
So that doesn't make the question mark that I've certainly identified it. I think you're more or less in my camp.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't make that question mark any smaller. Again, 4 games left still.
And a big 4 games. I mean, the big boys are going to start dressing them. They're going to dress, 3 out of the last 4 games, or for sure 2.
Yeah, it sounds like these next 2 home games will be a half and half lineup. Half NHLers and half the guys who are bound. Sam O'Reilly's still here, by the way. I think that is great for a junior player.
Yes.
To still be here. And that's one of those, like we talked about with Penticton. I mean, you were great about it, how you start to learn the routine. It's a step up. You see how other people behave. Even for Sam O'Reilly to get an extra 3 or 4 days, seeing how Connor prepares for practice and all that kind of stuff.
But that's credit to the organization for seeing that and seeing this as more than, does he have the skill level to be here right now? No. But to see that, to hitch your wagon to this and say, okay, oh, wow, this is what being a professional hockey is. This is what sitting next to Connor McDavid looks like. That's the experience you cannot get. And they have the opportunity to give it. So good on them for doing it. And a big shout out to Big Slam Nasty. He says, look, late to the party, wrote a big exam for work and passed it. So let's have a great weekend. And I share that sentiment. Congrats.
I should mention this. The third pairing today, was Kulak and Josh Brown, which will not make Oilers fans. I would think this, I don't know, I could be wrong, but the sentiment I would get that is if I think people would sooner see Stetcher there now, and maybe he will be.
Well, maybe this is Custer's last stand for Brown.
Yeah, we don't know,
right?
Yeah, we don't know. But I think tomorrow, and Knobloch said it today, he was talking more about forwards, so I imagine we'll see something similar defensively. Probably 2 of their 4 forward lines tomorrow, 2 of their 4 NHL forward lines Monday. So we might still see Philip O'Reilly, some of the guys that are around. And then I would think the final 2 games is pretty much the team. With maybe some competition going on there. 780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty. I've kind of been neglecting, so I know you want to catch up with some messages.
Oh, we got lots of time.
I'm going to do my sports news in Limerick form.
Yes.
When we get back. And
I told you to be aware. This is danger, what you started yesterday.
What?
But now the people are going to want it every day. Limerick Reid.
I hope so. I like doing them. It's Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Well, this isn't in Limerick, but it is the Elks and Bombers tonight. The entire ESD crew down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the action. Kickoff is at 6, and make sure at the top of the hour to listen to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show with Jay Milne leading you right into the action. Over in BC, it's the Lions up against the Ticats. Kickoff for that one is at 8:30, and the NHL preseason continues tonight. Right now, Jacob Slavin, the lone goal scorer in the Hurricanes and Panthers games. The Devils face the Islanders at 5. And we also have the Canucks and Kraken later tonight at 8. The Oilers face the Kraken tomorrow at 7 from Rogers Place. LA Kings defenseman Drew Doughty will undergo surgery on his fractured hand and is listed month to month In 82 games last season, Doughty scored 15 goals and 35 assists for 50 total points. In the NFL, Cowboys DB DeMarcus Lawrence is out for up to 4 weeks with a midfoot sprain. Micah Parsons for Dallas also suffered a high ankle sprain in yesterday's win against the Giants. The Cowboys play their next game against the Steelers October 6th. Just after the break, the final segment of this Friday edition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne carries out. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
That's us, Jay, on the old YouTube.
Hi.
We're YouTubers.
Hey, it's the YouTube podcast crew.
At apparently the show's done at 4:57, according to Matthew Wannock, so he can get set up to start exactly at 5 for the Green and Gold Kickoff Show with you. We have our EST watch party here at Century Casino, Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. What the 6 o'clock lagers are discounted on special?
They're on special.
We don't say discounted with food, eh? You say on special. You have to buy a couch at Vaughn's Furniture, or would you say it's on special?
It would be on sale.
On sale. Right. You don't say food's on sale, I guess.
Yeah, so there, and also the quesadilla is the special tonight here. Oh my gosh, we got a gray.
I got to go bet on that gray.
We got a gray.
We got time.
It's 10 minutes left. We're betting the gray.
780-218-9999 EST inbox, and of course the nasty chat.
Okay, because Matthew is he kind of bossed us around there, big dogged us, and said you got to be on by this time. So here we will, Matthew. Okay, so for the playbook, he had a fantasy football inquiry.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like to solve this riddle. Should I drop Anthony Richardson and just start Geno Wilson and Caleb Williams the rest of the way? It's a single QB league, but I feel Richardson has more value in a super flex. I agree with you. It depends if it's a keeper league too. It depends if you can keep a guy like Caleb Williams, who you probably picked up in a later round. I'm not totally sold on the 3-0 Seahawks with Geno Wilson.
Well, Geno Wilson doesn't play for the Seahawks.
Hey.
Geno Smith is the quarterback.
What's going on? Like, this is what Geno Wilson are we talking? Like, I this is now twice. This is a Reid. This is then he did what I did.
What's going on?
Maybe he's making fun of me because I said Geno Wilson earlier in the year.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Reid, this is a mystery.
I love all of you. I'm not helping with your fantasy football team.
Okay,
I got enough managing my one incompetently. I'm not ruining yours.
I think he's trolling me. Because I said Geno Wilson earlier in the week.
I don't
Remember
know.
that?
Just to give him advice quickly if you want to.
Caleb Williams. Believe in him. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He'll come around. That's the guy.
Well, he's the young guy.
Yeah, he's the number one draft pick.
Yeah, you might as well take a chance on the young guy.
Jeez.
It really is fantasy football. I mean,
yeah, it's life.
As I've said, success in fantasy sports does not prove either way how much you actually know about that sport.
I think I got professionally trolled for the first time on our own show.
No, I think
round of clicks to you.
Maybe I don't know what he did.
Who knows? It's Limerick time, baby.
We're doing Limericks already.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Get on up. It's Limerick time.
Sports news of the day in Limerick form. We do our show from Century Casino, ringing with chants of Go Elks Go. MBT must shine as Ford rides the pine. It's a really big game, don't you know?
To throw in the Halsey at the end. Wow.
That's the only way the rhyme made sense.
Okay, good.
Which one should I do now? Yeah, I'll do them in the order. Le Coupe de Presidents in Montreal. The first day made Canadians want a ball. But Connors and Hughes simply refuse to lose. The weekend matches will certainly enthrall.
Beautiful.
5-5.
Poetic.
International 105. Yes.
Huge.
U.S. 105 yesterday. International. So what is it? The world minus the United Kingdom and the States. That's the international team.
No, it's U.S. versus international.
Yeah, so the international team is the world except for the United States and the UK.
Why?
Because the UK is in the Ryder Cup.
Right? They can't play in both?
No, they don't.
Noted. Okay. Goof up.
Here's a timely one. It's too bad we didn't have more time to talk about this story. First Philly, then KC, then Oakland. The Athletics have kind of been nomads. Eventually in Vegas, they will plant their grass. Fans want to kick the owner in the gonads. At least the guy caught the foul ball and then was felled up the side and was flipping off the owner.
Yeah.
And they're playing. This is so strange. Just quickly on this, I know Matt's already trying to shove us out of our spot. Well, me. So they're going to go play in a AAA stadium in Sacramento for 3, maybe 4 years. Well, Vegas. And Gazzola was saying he's been to that ballpark and it ain't great.
No.
That it is a strange situation. So we have the horse races here. So here's my final limerick.
Okay.
Should I wager win, show, or place? Losing big dollars, so hard to face. Run, horsey, run. This isn't just fun. My very existence depends on this race.
Brilliant. There's our American glory.
Number 8. I'll probably just bet it to
Hey,
show.
it's from Great Britain. You just talked about Great Britain. It's a sign.
Yeah, I did. Everything is finally coming together for Wilkins.
Wow, and it's number 8. That was my number.
We're finally. Oh, you were number 8?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably told me that and I forgot or I wasn't listening.
Probably just weren't listening.
You're going to find that quite often.
No, I've already done it. Yeah.
I tend to just go into a trance sometimes. All right.
It's okay.
So get after Zach, my big key for the Elks tonight.
Like Zacticum?
No.
Claros, of course. Yes, I agree. It would. Hey, any pressure would be better than what they've been getting lately, which is no pressure. And we are about to break down this game in great detail with the Green and Gold Kickoff Show coming up here from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where Matt will rave about the jalapeno and cheddar smokies as well as the quesadilla, which he has had, and I will be having it tonight. It is a good bargain. So we have obviously the programming tonight. Hello Hockey is 10 to noon tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. The Oilers, so Elks tonight. The Oilers play tomorrow at 7, Monday at 7. We are honoring the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on Monday, so we will not have live programming on Edmonton Sports Talk, but we will return Tuesday at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show, and we'll all be back Tuesday at 3 p.m. You're going to be back in 3.5 minutes with Matt. All right. Thank you to everybody who jumped into our chats today. I wish we could have got to more messages, but we love you, and we thank you for listening and watching. Thanks to Zachary Kubish back at the EST studio. He's Jay. I'm Reid. Go Elks!
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.